Good day, everyone. We are the Group 1, and today we'll be talking about the digital self, how we see ourselves and express our identity in the online world. In today's generation, our social media accounts have become like digital mirrors that reflect who we are, what we value, and how we want others to see us. Digital self. The digital self is the version of ourselves that exists online. It's the identity we create and show through our posts, photos, captions, and even the things we share or react to. Sometimes it shows our true personality, but other times it may show the ideal version of who we want to be. In short, our ideal digital self is how we choose to present our identity on the internet. Next is development and expression of self and identity in social networking sites. Social networking sites like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X allows us to express who we are. Everything we post, from selfies to quotes, reveals a part of our personality. For example, someone who posts travel photos may want to show that they're adventurous, while someone who shares motivational quotes may want to inspire others. This post reflects our values, interests, and beliefs, so in a way, our online activity becomes a digital diary of who we are and what matters to us. Next is the adolescence and social networking sites. Adolescence is a critical stage of identity construction, a time when we explore who we are, what we want to become. Social media plays a huge role in this because it gives young people a space to experiment their identity and connect with others who share similar interests. It's also important to remember that value of personal space. Even if we like sharing online, we should still know our boundaries. Not everything needs to be posted. Lastly, social networking sites provide anonymity, connectivity, interactivity. They allow us to express ourselves freely, connect with friends and communities, and interact instantly through likes, comments, and messages. To sum it up, the digital self shows how we express our real ideal identity online, especially for adolescents.
So now, let's discuss the adolescent self-esteem and identity construction. So there are three types of adolescent self-esteem. There are self-concept, personal self-esteem, and collective self-esteem. So the first one is the self-concept. Self-concept is the overall understanding and perception of a person has about themselves. It includes what you believe about your traits, abilities, values, and roles in life. It's basically the answer to the question of who am I. So the second one is the personal self-esteem. Personal self-esteem refers to how much value and confidence you place in yourself. It affects how you feel about your abilities, how you deal with challenges, and how satisfied you are with your accomplishments. So the third one is the collective self-esteem, which refers to the value and pride of a person feels from being part of a group or community, such as family, school, culture, or social clubs. It's how much belonging to those groups contributes to your self-worth. So now, let's talk about the influences of others' evaluation. The opinions, feedback, or judgment of others can affect how a person views themselves. Positive evaluation can boost self-esteem, while negative ones can lower it. While the preoccupation with self-presentation, this means being overly focused on how others see you. Especially online, it involves carefully managing what you post or show to make a good impression or gain approval. For example, a teenager spends hours editing selfies or writing captions just to get more likes or compliments. Their self-esteem becomes dependent on how others react on their posts. So the next one is the importance of social affiliation and communication. Social affiliation means the need to belong, connect, and be accepted by others. Communication strengthens those relationships, which helps improve a person's sense of belongingness and self-worth. Now, let's tackle about identity construction interacting with others. It's how people express who they are and how they want to be seen. Example, posting your achievements, hobbies, or beliefs helps others understand your personality and interests, creating a digital version of your identity. So the next one is the personal online identity construction. This refers to how individuals present their unique traits, interests, and values on their personal profiles. It's about showing the real you, your talent, lifestyle, and preference. Let's move forward to the social online identity construction. This involves how people express their sense of belonging or connection to a group, culture, or community through their online activities. It shows who they are as a part of a group. Example, a student joins a Facebook group for fans of specific K-pop band, participate in a fan discussions, and share concert updates. By doing this, they express that they are part of that fan community, forming a social identity based on a shared interest.
Now, let us dwell on how Facebook is as a platform. First of all, Facebook is a place where people can express who they are, share what they like, and connect with others. It helps them reveal their identity, manage how others see them, and of course, explore new sides of themselves. Facebook creates a safe space for self-revelation and assertion. Facebook gives adolescents a personal online space where they can reveal who they are and how they have changed. By posting personal information and experiences, they show others the identity they want to present, especially compared to their past selves. To further explain, people use Facebook to share personal experiences and opinions to show who they are and what they have become. It becomes their space to express themselves freely. Like for example, someone posts pictures of their college life to show how much they've grown since high school. Secondly, Facebook projects needs and preferences. Adolescents use Facebook to show their true selves when they are with friends, which they may not express at home. Their post often reveals their emotions, activities, and personal experiences. By sharing photos and thoughts online, they externalize their feelings, reflect on themselves, and give the voice to things they might struggle to say in real life. To explain that, users express their emotions, likes, and social life through posts and photos. It's a way of sharing what they care about and how they feel, especially when they are not open in their personal lives or in their personal family. For example, a person posts about hanging out with friends to show they enjoy socializing and value friendships. Number 3, creating a virtual surrogate group. Online relationships influence how adolescents shape and present their identity. Positive feedback from online groups encourages them to continue that identity, especially when they feel less satisfied or supported in their real-life social circles. To further explain that, Facebook helps people build online communities that gives them a sense of belonging. These online friends or groups can influence how they see and express themselves. For example, a shy student joins a Facebook group for art lovers and starts posting their drawings, feeling supported by other members online, unlike in real life that her art may not feel belonged by other groups. And lastly, number 5, experimenting on different identity. Adolescents try out different roles and sides of themselves online. By creating multiple accounts, they can switch between different identities depending on what they want to show. This makes their sense of flexibility and able to change across different online spaces. Facebook allows individuals to try out new roles or sides of themselves, helping them discover who they are or what they want to be on a certain feeling. For example, someone who's usually quiet in real life starts posting.
So what's wrong with using social networking sites? But before that, I'd just like to remind that the problem lies not in using the social networking sites, but how they're being used. It becomes harmful in places in real life interactions. Online reactions becomes the main source of self-esteem and identity. This becomes the problem because binabase natin yung pagkakakilanlan natin, yung pag-present natin ng sarili natin, yung mga bagay na dapat alam na natin sa sarili natin, binabase natin sa reaksyon na binibigay sa atin online or digitally. And hindi na natin ma-determine kung anong paniniwalaan natin, kung ang sarili natin, the physical self or the reaction that we get from the people digitally or online. Constant monitoring of likes and comparison creates insecurity. This is the biggest problem of indulging much on digitally and using your social networking sites, because we tend to compare ourselves with people that reach the goals that we want to reach. For example, I have a friend and that friend of mine reached 100 likes in his post, and I compare myself to him, and that becomes the problem because we are taking a different path, we have different platforms, and we interact with different people. So we must not compare ourselves with the people na iba sa atin, because we represent ourselves differently online and offline. Next is identity becomes dependent on online approval and image. So, lahat ng ginagawa natin at pinupost natin, inaabangan natin yung comments ng ibang tao, and we divert our perceptions, our beliefs into their perception towards us. Being dependent on online's approval and image is a bad thing because we forget who we are. We forget how we present ourselves on our own way. We tend to project what people think of us, and it is not good for ourselves because we have our own perception. We have our own way of living life. So if we accept all the opinions that are being given to us, then our identity is lost. It is not us anymore. It is the perceptions of the people that you accumulated and you took into yourself and live with it. Lastly, this leads to weak self-identity, low confidence, self-absorption, and poor social and emotional skills. So let us remember that it is not the use, it is how being used.
The social self means that our sense of self develops through our relationships and social experiences. For example, we act differently when we're with friends compared to when we're with our parents or teachers, but we're still the same person. Siyempre, pag kaharap natin yung parents natin, dapat good girl, good boy ang atake natin. Pero kapag kasama na natin yung friends natin, carefree na yung personality natin, pag gusto na tayo, like ma-express talaga natin ng bonggang-bongga yung self natin, mas comfortable tayo mag-share to them, ganito ganyan. So that's because we adjust depending on the situation or the group we are in. So next, the self and its social agency. Even though society influences us, we also have the power to influence it back. So that is called social agency. For instance, when we use social media to spread awareness, like yung ginagawa natin this past few days, nag-spread tayo ng mental health awareness, nag-promote tayo ng kindness, this because we don't know what they are going through. So, we are showing that we can shape the world around us too. So, that is called social agency. So, our family is the first social group. Nag-start lahat like yung personality development of a person sa family. Kasi syempre, sila yung una nating nakasama simula nung pinanganak tayo. They teach us values, manners, and beliefs. Simply things like saying po and opo, helping with chores, or being respectful. So, those things shape our behavior and attitude from a young age. As we grow older, syempre, pupunta na tayo sa school, makakamit na tayo ng friends, and the community around us will influence us na. So, sa school, tinuturuan tayo niya ng teamwork, discipline, and sa school, makakamit tayo ng new faces, so, magkakaroon tayo ng friends. And friends, syempre, na-influence nila tayo with our hobbies, interests, and even how we express ourselves. Na-adapt natin yung kanya-kanya nating mga humor, mga fashion trends, mga slang, and mga social media habits. Well, sa community naman, it helps us feel a sense of belonging, especially kapag nag-join tayo ng mga school events or like mga programs. Yeah. Socialization happens through microsystems and macrosystems. Microsystems are the people that are close to us, like yung family natin and best friends, because they directly shape our personality and habits. While macrosystems are the bigger influence, like the culture, media, and society. Things like trends on TikTok or the social expectations is gonna influence nila the way we believe. So, to sum it up, our social self is formed through all our interactions, from family to friends to the entire society. Every experience we have with others helps us discover more about who we are and who we want to become.
Culture is the shared way of life for a group of people, encompassing their values, beliefs, norms, and practices, which are learned and passed down through generations. Culture is the complex whole which includes knowledge, belief, law, art, moral, custom, and other capabilities and habits acquired by man as a member of society. To further understand the nature of culture and its influences on oneself, the following models illustrate how culture functions in relation to one's social self. Yuri Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory, later known as the bioecological model, is a framework for understanding how a person's development is shaped by their environment. He argued that development is a complex interplay between an individual's biology and the nested social and environmental systems they are embedded in. In Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory framework, this includes the microsystem, the mesosystem, the exosystem, the macrosystem, and the chronosystem. For the microsystem, an example for this one is family, school, peers, and neighborhood. Relationships within this system are bidirectional, meaning the individual is affected by others but also influences them in return. Then we have the mesosystem. An example for this is a parent's interaction with a child's teacher at the conference affects the child's academic development. A lack of communication between the home and school can create confusion for the child. A person's different contexts do not exist in isolation, and the relationships between them affect development. Then we have the exosystem. An example for this includes a parent's workplace policies, like a demanding travel schedule, can cause stress at home and influence the parent-child relationship. This is the external social settings that a person does not directly participate in, but that still affect their development. Then we have the macro system. Example for this includes in some cultures, family harmony is prioritized over individual achievement, which in turn influences parenting styles in the microsystem. It includes ideologies, customs, laws, and social and economic conditions of a person's culture or subculture. Then lastly, we have the chronos system. For example, in this one is that the long-term impact of a parent's divorce on a child's development, or how a major historical event like the pandemic affects an entire generation. These changes can be personal or broader social historical events. Another model that highlights the impact of culture to the self is the individualism collectivism model proposed by Hazel Marcus and Shinobu Kitayama. According to the model, individualism as an orientation focuses on one's individual attributes and personal distinctiveness. People who are individualistic are observed to be competitive and self-reliant. On the other hand, the collectivist orientation values relationships and harmony. People who are collectivistic prioritize interest to maintain healthy relationships. The individualism collectivism model describes how cultures prioritize the individual versus the group. Individualistic cultures emphasize personal autonomy, self-reliance, and the individual achievement, while collectivistic cultures prioritize group harmony, loyalty, and the needs of the community over individual desires.
For our next topic is the individualism collectivism model. This model highlights the impact of culture to the self and was proposed by Hazel Marcus and Shinobu Kitayama. The individualism collectivism model describes how cultures differ in their focus on the self versus the group. Individualism values personal freedom, independence, and self-expression, where people make decisions based on their personal goals. For example of this is a student in the US might choose a university far from home to pursue their dream career, even if it means being away from their family. And the next one is collectivism, which values group harmony, loyalty, and shared responsibility, where people prioritize their family or community needs. For example is a Filipino nurse might choose a job that allows her to support her siblings' education or her family, even if it's not her dream role, because family always comes first. This too helps explain differences in communication, leadership, and relationships across cultures. And for our last topic, it is The I and the Me by George Herbert Mead, where he proposed that the self has two components, the I and the me. The I is the spontaneous and socialized part of the self that acts according to personal desires, while the me, it is the socialized part of the self that conforms to societal expectations and norms. Together, the I and the me interact to form a balanced self. The I represents individuality, while the me represents social awareness. The digital self and the social self are interconnected aspects of identity. The digital self emphasizes how individuals explore and express their identity through online platforms, while the social self reflects how one's environment, relationships, and culture shape their character and worldview. A healthy sense of identity requires balance, using digital spaces responsibly, while staying grounded in real-world relationships and cultural values. Through this balance, individuals can achieve self.
And that wraps our presentation. I hope that you enjoyed watching our video and I hope that you learned something new. want, wala akong pake. Bye!